Hello, happy first day of spring, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. This is the Mardeana Knits podcast, and my name is Kirsten, and I reside here in Alberta in Canada, and I am mostly a knitter. Once upon a time, I exclusively was a crocheter, but this has become my corner of the internet where I like to discuss the things that I have made, the things I am making, the things I'm planning to make, things like that. And also it's just my way of expanding my community out there, because I personally don't know a lot of people who knit, and I know a lot of people out there are also the same way. So if you don't have any friends who knit, just put yourself out there and maybe you'll find some, because I know I've had some luck and it's been great. I will jump right into some finished objects. So the first one I want to talk about is this, what I'm wearing. This is the port sweater, and it's by Ozetta. This pattern was off of Ravelry. My crafty friends, almost all of us knit. We had organized this knit along with our little group of friends. We did a cast on party, which was so much fun. We had lots of food, sat around and cast on our sweaters. So there were two going around. So the majority in my group did the legs pullover, and I believe two of us did the port sweater. So this one here. So I will get up and I'll show you some of the detail. So it is quite oversized, and it's supposed to be. And then this is the detail right there. It's like a little ribbing detail, and it goes down into the armpit. And then the sleeves are quite loose as well. And when I stand, the sleeves go quite long. So let's talk about this pattern. The cast on was quite interesting to get the back shaping done. I really enjoyed it. That was like a very satisfying knit for me. And then you just knit, and once you join it in the body, then it's just all stockinette except for the ribbing at the bottom. It is quite a bit of ribbing. It says to go for a certain number of inches, and for me it worked out to be about 30 rows of ribbing, and ribbing is not my favorite thing in the world, but when it's at the end of a project I can totally do it. And then same with the neckline too. It's quite loose and it goes up to about here, but I could fold it over if I wanted it to look a little bit more polished. But if I'm like hanging around at home, you know, just relaxing, I like to have it loose like this. So yes, my only issue with this project, I'm not even going to say it's the pattern or the yarn. It might have been my tension, it might have been the cast off method that I chose. The pattern suggested a tubular bind off, so that's what I did, but I think I did it a little bit too loose. So like for example here, it's just a little bit more volume than I would like. So I'm toying with the idea of getting some of that clear elastic thread that you can get, and you kind of like, you weave it through and it'll just kind of like cinch it in a little bit. I've seen most people use it in necklines, especially like a crew neck, and it just kind of helps kind of like pull it in so it's not really loose. So I am toying with that idea, but we'll see. I still do wear it and I still do really enjoy it. I'm just gonna sit in this. I'm gonna live in it for the rest of the episode because I like it. And for now I'm gonna get a sip of water. Today I'm just drinking water because I think my body is embracing the fact that it's spring. I'm naturally just staying a little bit warmer than I was even just a week ago. The second finished object I have are my socks. So here they are. These are called the Totally Rad Ribbed Socks by, this is, who did this one? Oh, Lee Design Co. So I really liked it. So up top you have your 3 stripes, and we have our section of ribbing here. And then I did an eye of partridge heel. This is my favorite heel so far. I'm gonna still toy around with some others because I don't want to knock anything until I try it. But yeah, so eye of partridge heel, and then just basic stockinette foot, and then the contrasting toe again. And I really like the top on this. It's not just a ribbed cuff, it's actually a tabbed cuff. So you knit in stockinette for a little while, and then you fold it over, and then you're gonna, I just did like a whip stitch. You could also do like a 3 needle bind off kind of situation in there if you wanted, but I just find just whip stitching is really easier for myself, and it winds up looking cleaner. So that is that finished object, and I absolutely love them. They are now living in my sock drawer, and they get worn quite regularly. So yeah, those are them. That is all I have for finished objects, but don't worry. I have whips. I have lots of whips. So let's just talk about the ones that I was talking about in previous episodes already. So we'll just kind of like get those through. So, oh, this is the yarn for this one. So here, actually, I have one full skein left. So I might actually go and try and return this, maybe exchange it for something. We'll see, because I don't know what else I'm going to do with it. But it's just Estelle Yarns Eco Harmony Worsted. So it's actually 55% organic wool and 45% organic cotton. And this colorway is charcoal. So there's one full skein that I have left there. And then I also still have this ball right there. And I knit, I believe it was the 5th size. So it was either extra large or 2XL. So I did want it to be quite oversized. But next time I think I would go down 1, maybe 2 sizes. So yeah, and that I kept in my project bag by BK Bling and Bags. This one I got at the Fiber Frolic. So yeah, it's a great bag. So this one, I didn't get a lot of progress on because I got distracted by something else that we'll be touching on later. But this is the Wilderness Sweater. Not a lot of progress on this one. I've joined, so now I can start doing the yoke. I had started on the color work, but then I had messed up on the math of doing the join. I had forgotten to leave a couple of the stitches out that are for the armpit hole, so I just had too many stitches going around the outside of the yoke. Not a big deal. I just had to rip back. I think it was like 1 row, but like I said, not a big deal. And these, just like everything else, I am knitting on my Linka needles. They're the Cypra collection. They're made out of copper. And I think this one here actually is a good example. Did you see that? How it's like changing colors. It's like a patina, so it will, it's going to change colors as I use them. It'll get that patina finish to it. You know, like when you had an old penny in the bottom of your wallet and it would be like green or different shades of like copper or brown, maybe even a bit of blue. So that is just the copper oxidizing and creating a patina. So I'm going to embrace that patina. I know some people like to polish theirs. So yeah, so that is the Wilderness Sweater. I really haven't made that much progress. My child reminds me very regularly on it, but I've appeased them with another project that I'll be showing you very shortly. So yeah, because this sweater, like I said before, is going to be for them, but I'm making it a size that will fit me, because once they outgrow it, because they will, they're going to be taller than me, I can already tell. So once they outgrow it, then I will just snag it and bring it into my closet. So yeah, that is that one. And then in here, I believe I had shown I finished the one sock already. This is the Magic Heel sock, and it's by the Autumn Acorn is the pattern. This yarn is by Over the Moon Dye Works. Yeah, and the colorway is Beaches of Europa. So there's them. And this is the Electron sock base, 85% superwash merino and 15% nylon, and it's just a fingering weight 100-gram skein. And I mentioned this before, I really like the way that these stripes are coming out. I really do enjoy the way that the pink and the black are like twice as thick as the chartreuse or this like turquoise color. So I like the variation of that, and it's really soft, and I'm really excited. The advantage of this pattern, I've heard it told before that it's really good for if you're wanting to make socks for children because their feet are growing. So with the way that the heel on this is, let's say their heel, the bottom of their heel starts out here, as their foot grows, it's just going to move, right? And you just have so much heel, like the heel there is like that long. It'll grow with them. So these socks are still just for me, but But yes, however, my kid has told me that they would love it if I would make them some socks now, maybe in like a rainbow color, something LGBTQ friendly, because they do identify as part of that community. So yes, let's put that off to the side. This is official purse knitting. It goes with me everywhere. I believe I actually started on this since the last episode. I had started these socks a while ago. I didn't have the right size needles. I thought that I would be able to make do, but I was wrong. I couldn't. So this yarn is by Neumann yarns. And I got this about a year ago at the Fiber Frolic. I talked to shop owners. I talked to other patrons such as myself who were just there to see what was available. And I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. I bought too much stuff. And I loved it, and I'll be going again. The tickets just went on sale, I think, for the next one, although they changed the name. Now it's called Gathering Threads. So I'm going to be buying that ticket pretty soon, and then of course I'll be going with all of my knitty friends. But yes, anyways, back to this. Neumann yarns. The colorway is Peace, Hope, and Strength Kit 3. So this was a kit. So this blue color is the contrast. I really like that blue. It's just like so bright. Sorry about the dog hair. Story of my life. So that's the contrast color. But then here is the main color. And it's just this really soft white. And it has flecks of blue and yellow. And did it say on here? Yes. The purchase of this yarn included a digital download of the Dandilion Wishes pattern, and a donation of $12 from this went to the Ukraine humanitarian crisis appeal through the Canadian Red Cross. So that really like made me want to purchase it. Anytime I see that money's going to go towards something like Red Cross, the food bank, animals, anything like that, I'm going to think a little harder about actually giving you my money, because I do want to support those kinds of things. And if my money that I'm going to spend anyways is going to be able to go towards a good cause, then I'm going to do that. So yeah, so that's the main color. So here is the sock, and this is the pattern that came with the sock kit. There we go. So those are they're supposed to be the dandelions. So those are the little flowers. And I think that they are turning out pretty cute. This is the first time I've done a sock that's toe up instead of top down. I did make a little bit of a mistake, so let's own our mistakes. And the first time after you do the magic cast on, you're supposed to knit through the back loops, and I didn't do that. So I just have this tiny bit of a ridge right here. It's not a big deal. So I'll do the same mistake on the second sock, and then that way they match, because that'll make my OCD happy. So yeah, I'm quite happy with these socks. I think they're turning out really, really cute. Acquisitions on this episode are going to kind of be a little, they're not going to be lumped in at the end because they're kind of going in with all the projects that I'm showing you as far as my works in progress. So yeah, so here is another acquisition. It's technically not even knitting, but I was at Walmart and they had these bags. They're just like a pencil case and they were on sale. I think they were like $4, but I just thought it was so cute. I loved how you can see through it, and then it has like sprinkles all over it and little stars and moons. I thought it was so cute. And then I decided to decorate it. I had gone a long time ago and I got some stickers at a flea market, and so I put Luna on there. Yeah, because I'm a child of the 90s and I loved Sailor Moon, so why not have a little Luna with me? So there you go. If you're looking for, you know, something to throw in your purse to be able to keep your sock project on, I think that'll be great. In episode 1, I had gone through all of the things that I was wanting to hibernate to take some of that pressure off of myself, because the pile of whips beside my knitting area in the living room was just becoming too much and it was overwhelming me. So I put a few into hibernation, and now that I finished a couple things like this and some socks, there was another sweater that I had finished last month, now I feel comfortable taking a couple of those things out of hibernation. So this is the Soufflee Soufflee Tee by Penrose Knits. Her daughter is just so stinking cute, and then the fact that they have their British accent, and then of course her daughter has this tiny little like toddler voice with a little British accent. Like, it just like melts my heart, and I'm just like, oh, I love babies, they're so cute. So yeah, so anyways, point of that is you should go check her out, look for her, Penrose Knits. So here's her pattern. It's a t-shirt. It's made out of 100% kid silk mohair. The bottom part is double stranded, whereas the top part is just a single strand, so it's almost sheer. Can you see that? Kind of see that? So yeah, that's kind of like sheer. I have put this into hibernation, so I have now taken this out. I went and I put in like a guide line so that when I fold down the hem and I start sewing it down, I'll keep it straight and I won't accidentally move up or down a row, and then it'll look staggered and, you know, sloppy, because I want the things I make to look well finished. So I put that in. The next steps I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the I-cord edging around the neck, and then I'm going to do the ruffle, and then I'm going to do something shocking. So the bottom here, I don't like, do you see that? The hem, it's like, it's not laying as flat as I want it to. So that's a me problem. So, and also I tried it on and it's too short. It's supposed to be a little cropped, but I have short arms and legs and I have a long torso. So yes, I'm going to literally cut off the hem. I'm going to insert my needle about 1 stitch up. I'm going to cut the whole entire hem off, and then I'm going to knit for as long as I can until I run out of yarn, and then I'll cast off and then I'll finish the hem on it. But that's just to make it as long as I can. But yes, I'm absolutely loving this. The yarn, so here's, that's like 2 balls right there, because you do hold it double stranded at the point that I'm at. And it is Prolana Kid Seta, doesn't really have a name, but yeah, it's just Prolana. I think it's pretty standard across North America. I think a lot of stores carry the Prolana kid silk mohair, but there's just so many colors. So yeah, if you want to make yourself a souffle tee, it's a great yarn because there's just so many colors to choose from, and I really like the blue. Blue is a neutral when it comes to me, so yeah. And that I'm just keeping in a project bag just for Michael's. Nothing special. And then I do have 2 more whips. I'm saving the most exciting for last. I had talked about this in my last episode. It's a project for my kid. They asked me to make them a stuffed animal. So I had made them that bumblebee in December. I believe I made that for their birthday. And then they asked me to make them a fox. So I found the, what was it called? Cube Foxy Fox. And the website is craftybunnyBun.com. You can also find it on Ravelry, and then the link will just take you straight to her website. And she has so many different animals on there that you can choose from, but I chose the fox. The yarn, it's all just this Bernat blanket yarn. Nothing special. However, be prepared if you're wanting to order these brighter colors like the orange. It's probably not going to be available in your big box store. You're probably going to have to go on Amazon, or at least that was the case for me. And that 1 ball was like 20 bucks. So just be prepared for that. So yeah, I started on it and I got as far as I could. So here is like his body. And I'll just start taking the parts out. So here's a foot, another foot. Whoop. So as I went, I just kind of stuffed everything inside the body. Here's another foot. I left these long tails for to sew them on. Here's another foot. So that would be 4 feet right there. Sounds about right, right? Here's his little tail. Look at that, how cute, right? Okay, so there's his tail. And then he has his 2 little ears, right? Let's do it. His little ears. So yeah, It has little foxy ears. And then I think that's it in here. Oh no, here. And then here's his little snout. Hopefully by next week this will be finished. The reason that I had to stop was because I crocheted everything I could. This is a crochet project, if I forgot to mention that. I crocheted all the pieces. And then I got to the instruction about attaching the safety eyes. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't have safety eyes. I went on Amazon and I ordered eyes. And I ordered a lot of eyes. Well, technically eyes and noses, because I did also need safety noses for him. So, or just one nose. Foxes only have one nose, right? So I got these eyes and these noses. I'm not going to rip it open because it's really crinkly. But I'm going to have enough to do a lot of amigurumi. If my kid wanted every single stuffed animal off of her website, off of Crafty Bunny Bun's website, I probably could, because I got the eyes for it at this point. So yeah, I am self-sufficient now when it comes to eyes and noses. So yes, that is that whip. Now for the exciting one. Okay, so about a week ago, I was on Instagram. I was scrolling, you know, as you do. And I really like Colibri knits. It's by Joanna. If you haven't heard of her, you should probably go give her a look on Instagram. Her stuff is very soft. It's very feminine. It has just almost like a romantic kind of silhouette to it. It's definitely like different from Ozetta's, where it's more like oversized and kind of like slouchy, but that's what I love. All these designers have different qualities that I enjoy about their patterns. So yeah, she put out a test call, for a call for test knitters, for her Amadeo Summer Sweater test knit. So she had made the Amadeo Summer Tee, which it's a t-shirt and it's all lace, like the body and the sleeves, it's all lace. And so then she put out this call for test knitters, and it's a raglan style sweater where the front and back are stockinette, and then the sleeves features that beautiful lace pattern that she had made for the Amadeo. So I put my name in there and she chose me, so yay. Thank you, Joanna. And immediately that day, me and my husband, we went running off. We went to the yarn store. We went to, where did we go? Statement Junkie. And we picked out my yarn. So I wasn't able to get the recommended yarn because I'm here in Canada and she is not. And it would have taken many, many weeks for the recommended yarn to get to me. So I spoke to the shop owner over at Statement Junkie and she helped me. And this is what we came up with. So it's another Cascade yarn. It's upside down, sorry. And it's called Heritage. Or did I just show it? What? That's up for, there we go. Heritage Yarns by Cascade Yarns. And it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And the colorway is Como Blue. It is, on camera it's coming off a bit more blue. It's more of a turquoise color. We didn't get the pattern until the Monday. So that weekend I worked on creating my swatch, and I did. I have it right here. So I started swatching it. There we go. There's all my ugly threads there. I never cut them because what if I need the yarn, you know, like what if I need it? So this way I can still at least frog my swatch. But yeah, so there's my swatch. I made it, and then as soon as the pattern came out on Monday, well, I had to work. So I worked, and then during my lunch break, I was able to cast on, and I'll show you what I've gotten done. I'm not going to be able to discuss too much with the pattern because it is a test knit. It will be available on Ravelry. The deadline is April 12th, and I believe that she's wanting to release it on Ravelry for April 19th. So yeah, I'm very excited for it. I do apologize. It's on kind of small needle, so it's a little bit bunched up. But here is my Amadeo Summer Sweater so far. So it has an unfinished neckline right now. Right here is the stockinette front. No, that's the back, sorry. And then here is the front. Very similar, but here's the good part right here. I'll bunch it off on the sides. This is the lace right there. So, or the top of the shoulder, and the lace will be going down, and I really like it. So this lace continues all the way down and it goes all the way around the sleeve, and it's quite loose, and then it's like a balloon sleeve, so then it just like cinches in right here with the ribbing nice and tight. So it's going to have a really feminine silhouette. It's going to be lightweight because it's just a fingering weight sweater. This lace is going to allow quite a bit of airflow around my arms. And then, like I said, I tend to run cold in the winter anyways, so the thought of wearing a thin wool sweater during the summer actually sounds really appealing to me. It does get quite hot here in Alberta in the summer, but not Carson. Carson's cold. Carson's always cold. So that is my exciting news for the week, is I got accepted for, it's officially my first test knit, and I feel like I'm doing really good. The group chat is very active. Everyone seems very friendly. We've all started following each other on Instagram and supporting each other through it, and I will definitely be signing up for more. So hopefully I impress Joanna and maybe she'll pick me again for another one that I want to do in the future. And that one I'm keeping in my Lone Larch bag. Has mushrooms all over it. I love this fabric. All those mushrooms. So, and it has the waxed canvas bottom. So yeah, it keeps my project protected. And then that is everything I have for whips. Like I said, a lot of my acquisitions were kind of like brought into there. So like the safety eyes, that teal yarn that I got, those kinds of things. Oh, I did buy these. These aren't that special. I'm sure you've seen them. They're just Cocoa Knits stitch markers, and they're in the Precious Metals collection. Whoops, I just dropped a couple. Oh well. But yeah, I've already started using them. I just wanted something a bit more basic for when I'm knitting, so that I can just, I'm not trying to color coordinate all of my colors all the time. I tend to do that with my knitting. All my markers and everything always need to match. And I need to start being less picky and just actually get the work done on the project. Okay. Next thing is I just wanted, there's a couple upcoming projects that I am going to work on. The first, I don't really know any specifics on because I'm creating it myself. This is 100% from my brain. So in episode, it was either my first or second episode, I talked about how I had made my notions box here. Go ahead and watch that episode if you like, if you want to see everything about it. But yes, I had made myself this little notions box, and it carries everything. Everything is in here, my scissors, measuring tape, stitch markers, a whole bunch of stuff. I've been thinking of ways that I can update this pattern. I'm thinking of using a different material. I think it'll still be a crochet project. And I'm thinking of just different ways that it could be put together so it would be even better. I'm enjoying this. I bring this everywhere with me. I haven't lost anything important out of it. But I think there's ways that it could be improved and ways that it could be a little bit cuter too. So keep an eye out for that. Maybe in the next few weeks here, maybe I will start toying around with ideas for that. So that's an upcoming project. And then the next upcoming project is my birthday knit. So my birthday is coming up, and it's actually on Easter Sunday. And last year I had purchased myself some really fun chunky like tweed yarn, and I knit myself a cardigan, and I called it my birthday cardigan. So this year I think I want to do the same thing, but I want to elevate it a little bit and do something nicer. So this book I had bought a little while ago. It's Knit This by Kutovakika, and once again, if you don't follow her, you probably should, because she's great. She also has a podcast, and she just has beautiful, beautiful stuff. So yes, I purchased this book, and this is the one I want to make for my birthday. My birthday knit, the honey cardigan. Like, how gorgeous is that? So not only do you knit the sweater, does it show it? Yes. I won't show like the instructions on how to do it because I don't want to spoil that. right there. Do you see that? You actually crochet over the buttons. So you just buy basic buttons and you create fibery buttons by going over them. And I just think it's so cute. So the recommended yarn on this one, where was it? Yarn. She recommends the Drops Melody. It's the 71% alpaca, 25% wool, and 4% polyamide. I haven't been able to find it local anywhere in store, but it's my birthday. So I did find a store, an Etsy store that does carry it. And I think I'm going to purchase it off of there. They did have enough in stock. So I might need to go and double check and make sure that they do still have it in stock. But there's this really light purple, like a lavender color that I want to do. And I think it would just be absolutely gorgeous. So that'll be my birthday present to myself, is starting on this knit. So hopefully I will have cast it on by the time I do my next episode. Or at least I will have sourced the yarn, because I think it would be nice to actually do a pattern with the recommended yarn, because I don't always get to do that. So yeah. So that's future plans for me in the knitting world. So other than that, that's everything that has been going on with me in knitting. In life, I am just really, really excited that spring is here. It is feeling great. The days are getting longer, the days are getting sunnier. Like, look, you can even still see the sun is out here. I just finished work before I started this, and it's like supper time right now. My husband's upstairs cooking dinner. So the fact that the sun is still up makes me really, really happy right now, because here where I live, it gets quite dark. Like, I will leave for work and it'll be pitch black. And then maybe I'll get to go see the sun a little bit during lunchtime, maybe. And then when I get back into my car to go home, it's dark again. So you literally don't get to see the sun. I have a light on my desk at the office. It's called a happy light, and it just gives you like vitamin D, like the sun would. And it's to fight off SAD, seasonal affective disorder, because yeah, the lack of sunshine really does get to a lot of us. My kid has been asking, are we going camping this year? What are we doing that? Like things like that. So even they are getting excited for spring and summer. Next week is spring break for them. That's crazy. I can't believe that it's already spring break. Yes, really, there's nothing big on the news front for me. So let's just talk about, I guess, some of the things that I've been watching, because as a knitter, I watch a lot of TV. I should probably read more books or listen to more books, but whatever. I watch TV. So just 2 days ago, yesterday or the day before, my husband and I, we finished re-watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it was as good as it always has been. I always enjoy the ending on that, although it kind of makes me sad at the same time. So we just finished that. I'm still binging through Criminal Minds. I think I'm on season 4 right now of like the original Criminal Minds. So I know that the new ones have come out, but I haven't watched any of them. I'm wanting to rewatch all the old ones, and then I'll start up the new season, and that'll be great. I've been wanting to keep up with CSI, but something's wrong with episode 12. Amazon Prime just won't load it. So that's been annoying for me. And if you do follow me on Instagram, one thing you're going to learn about me is I love Big Brother, okay? And in my personal opinion, I love the US version. The US version is great. It's, you know, it's very well produced and all of that. But I think that the Canadian one, which is airing right now, is just as good. Like, honestly, it's just as good. Canada is really good at putting in some twists. So if you're wanting to get a Big Brother fix, but you live in the States or somewhere where it's not airing right now, see if you can find access to Big Brother Canada, because it is honestly just as good. Yeah, and there's even there's some ladies, or there's some contestants in there that are from an area that I live in, so that's always fun too. I don't always necessarily cheer for them. I find I tend to cheer for the people that actually live where I grew up, not where I live now,
Actually, that's funny to think about. Yeah, I do. And I grew up on Vancouver Island. So anytime I see someone from like Vancouver or on the island, I'm like, yeah, you go for it. This past weekend, I went thrift shopping with my mom. We hit up a couple consignment stores, and then we went into this one consignment store that I believe it was a consignment store, but the types of items in there were just like way out of my price range. However, the sales guy was so nice. He didn't like look at us like, oh, you don't belong in here. Like, you had to ring the doorbell to get into this store. You couldn't just walk in, you had to ring the doorbell. And then as soon as you walked in, it was just like a wall of like Gucci and Versace, and we're like, okay, so when I googled consignment store, this isn't what I was expecting. But I did enjoy going in there and taking a look at all of the really high-end pretty things, especially when it comes to like the handbags and the shoes. I do have an appreciation for the artistry that does go towards that. I don't have the budget to go out and buy a Louis bag or anything like that, but I can still appreciate it, and I can still look at it and say, do you know what, like, someone really, really talented with a really good eye for design created that piece. And then the actual artists that, you know, the leather makers and things like that, the leather workers, they put in a lot of work to put into those things. So even though I couldn't actually buy anything, and I probably never will buy anything from that store, it was still really nice to go in and just see some things that I normally wouldn't see from where I normally go. But I did wind up getting a few good items while I was out shopping. A really nice cardigan with some beading on it that I was able to get from another consignment store. So yes, and it's always fun hanging out with my mom, and my kid came with us too. And other than that, it's just been a really quiet, calm time. The snow is melting, so we're going to start getting our backyard ready. So maybe I'll start sharing some of that on my stories too. I do enjoy taking care of the flowers and such in my backyard. In my front yard, I always do big, huge sunflowers. And I think that they're so cute because every time I come up to my house or I go out of my house, you look at the sunflowers and there's always these fat, chubby little bumblebees, and they're always napping like right on where the seeds are. And they're always just like, having a little nap, and they're just the cutest. So, and sometimes there's even like 2 per sunflower, and I have a huge phobia when it comes to like wasps and hornets, but bumblebees are the cutest, especially if they just have that chubby little fluffy bum. I think it's the cutest. So yes, so I think I have shared quite a bit about myself today. Thank you for coming and watching this episode. Thank you for sticking around this long. Please give this video a like if you have liked it. And also head on over to Instagram and give me a follow. That way you can see what I'm up to. And then maybe if we happen to connect, then maybe we can have a little conversation about the things that you're knitting on. You know, I would love to hear from you and hear about the types of things that are going on in your crafty world. So yes, have a great spring. Spring is here. March 20th is here. Yay! So enjoy your spring, enjoy your crafting, whatever it may be. And I hope that my episode here gave you a little bit of inspiration, maybe to take something out of hibernation and start working on it again. But put yourself out there and apply for that test knit that you've been thinking you won't get chosen for, because I didn't think I was going to get chosen, but I did. And that never would have happened if I didn't put myself out there. So yes, embrace all the yarny things, embrace the community with all the yarny friends, and I will see you guys on my next episode. Bye!
I'd like to acknowledge that this episode was filmed on Treaty 6 territory, a traditional meeting grounds and gathering place to the many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. I acknowledge the ancestors whose footsteps have marked these lands for millennia.